No. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Where I Come From, where I sit down with some very, very dope people who have either A, started a business, are a hellified entrepreneur, or just making moves that are just so fucking boss. It is I, Mr. Tone Deaf, and I am joined by a lovely young lady today. Like, she's fucking awesome. I'm gonna let her introduce herself.
Hello there, beautiful people. It's your girl Butterfly of vegan pop-up, I would call it.
I would call it vegan pop up.
Vegan pop-up Butter Loves, where I come to make vegan sexy and very relatable. That's what I do.
That's wild. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's start with the obvious here. Why vegan food?
Why vegan food? Okay, so naturally I am already a cook. I was
Okay.
already a cook. And I had this really, really awesome experience. So I'm on this spiritual journey. And should I go into the butterfly story?
Go. You know what? This your show right now. Let's start with the caterpillar and let's make it to the butterfly.
Okay. Oh, start with the caterpillar. So this is definitely COVID when COVID just happened.
Right.
So we go into COVID, and of course, we have to quarantine.
Right.
And everybody is pretty much freaking out because literally our life has changed
Right.
in a matter of days.
Right.
Literally, it was what was that? I want to say Friday the 13th. Was it?
Was it
I think it was
when they
March
first locked us
13th.
down?
Yep.
It was March. I know that. I didn't know it might have been.
I think it was March 13th that the world got shut down. I think, and that was a Friday.
Now I definitely gotta look at that.
It was so I work at a school, and I remember that Friday being our last day.
Damn.
Yeah. So, anyways, so so like COVID came and it just like shook everything up, and we were used to like going outside
Right.
and doing a lot of different things. Now the government come in and tell us we got to stay quarantined, whatever. So I would definitely say this was like my caterpillar or cocoon stage.
Okay.
So it was just me and my kids, and I was doing things to try to keep sane because my kids are very young
Right.
to me. So they were probably like 4 and 5 at the time.
Okay.
And so we in the house all day, and I'm used to being super active with them. So I'm used to like doing plenty outside activities. My daughter was in gymnastics at the time. My son does basketball, and like all of that had came
Right.
to an end. And I wanted to do something with them. So I ordered some caterpillars. And I ordered the caterpillars as like a science project for
Right.
them.
So actual real life caterpillars.
Yes.
Okay.
Ordered them some caterpillars, and I'm just like, yeah, this is gonna be cool. I can actually tell them about like the whole phases of the caterpillars, the cocoons, and
Right.
then the butterflies. So at the time, me and their dad were doing 1 week on, 1 week off.
Okay.
Mind you, it was a back order on the caterpillars. People was ordering caterpillars like crazy, so it was probably like a 5 week back order. Long story short, when the caterpillars finally arrived to my house, my kids were leaving to go with their dad.
Right.
Now, mind you, they're leaving for 7 days. So in my head, I'm super duper sad just because I know that it doesn't take a caterpillar that long to transform into
Right.
a butterfly. So I'm like, super sad. Like, y'all gonna miss the whole entire thing. And they just like, well, we can take them to my dad's house. No, you can't. So I'm like, whatever. I'll document it here. So I'll
Right.
do video footage. So they left whatever. I unboxed the caterpillars and I started to record them. And like as I'm looking at them, I'm really, 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 really drawn to them. Like super drawn to them.
Right.
And so I'm posting them, people calling them ugly, and I'm just like, no, I don't talk about the caterpillars because once like they bloom, they're gonna be really, really gorgeous,
Right.
and then y'all gonna be attracted to them. And so while I'm saying that, I was also saying to myself like, um, people don't necessarily love you when you are not looking your very best.
Right.
And once you bloom and you develop and you become your full self and reach your highest potential, then everyone flocks to you. Everyone wants to see who you are. Everyone is like caught by your beautiful wings.
Right.
So this is stuff that I'm telling people that's like inboxing me when they're talking about my caterpillars. It still wasn't that deep for me.
Right.
So I'm still attracted to these caterpillars. And so when my kids get back, so I had this whole stage when they were just out and they were moving around. So when my kids get back, they're literally going into the cocoon.
Okay.
So I'm super sad again because um now my children only will see them in a cocoon,
They won't see you
and they finna be hella bored with this because they not doing nothing. Like if you know a cocoon stage, they're literally just
hanging
hanging
there.
and that's it. So I'm like super sad because yet again, they're missing something. So another week passed and they go back with their dad. So when they go back with their dad, of course,
It's time to come out.
yes, of course, the caterpillars bloom and they come out of their cocoons. Now, rewind just a little bit. So, when they were caterpillars, like things were happening in my life
Mm.
that reflected directly with the
You were
caterpillars.
you rolling right into my next question. So keep it going.
So it like reflected directly. And so at this time, I had just learned about journaling.
Okay.
So I'm journaling all of this stuff and I'm realizing, like, wow, this is really amazing because these caterpillars are talking to me, they're speaking to me. Um, and um, hindsight, looking back at it, my children couldn't be there for me to actually get everything that I needed to get from the caterpillars. That's why
Okay.
they were leaving
They,
every single time.
the lesson was for you, not for
The
them.
lesson was for the butterflies was for me, not for them at all. So, and then when they transferred to the cocoons, of course, my kids was there with me, but I was able to take my mind off of the caterpillars, and I was able to be more involved with my own children, and I was able to like apply some of the lessons that I had learned with the caterpillars, um, be more patient, be more understanding, all of that, just because like I said, like the caterpillars, they were looked at as very like ugly to certain people, but I loved them so dearly. And so it was just like rough times that I was going through, and like my kids would feel some of that. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Just as a single parent, super frustrated, the world shutting down, all of that stuff. So I was able to take that time and I was able to reflect with those caterpillars. But when my kids got back, I was like more in tune with them. I was
Right.
more understanding, more patient, all of that stuff. And so yeah, we had a good time, whatever. They definitely had like realized that I was more calm, I was more free, if you will.
Right.
So again, 7 days passed, they end up leaving, and of course the butterflies had blossomed. And when the butterflies blossomed, something else, it was things that like within my career, or things that like within my just my personal relationship with myself, it would just be like clicking for me. And I remember waking up because I had brung clearly these was my butterflies. I brung the butterflies in my room, set them on my dresser, and I remember waking up to the sounds of the wings of them flapping, but they had literally just broke out of their cocoon, and I'm just like, wow. But when I heard that, it was just like such a freeing experience, and it was just like through that time, I don't know if it might have been like 20, 21, 23 days throughout that time. It was just like, um, I was a caterpillar, then I became a cocoon. And then when those butterflies started flapping their wings, I literally felt free. I felt beautiful. I felt like I had just gained more color to my wings. I felt like I was in a dark space. So I felt like I just became a butterfly.
Okay.
And that's where the whole name change came in at. That's when I became butterfly, and a lot of people call me Buddha fly because I spelt it like that. Because if you look at it, it's kind of spelled like Buddha, but Buddha is Buddha, and mine is Buddha.
Yeah, I was looking at that. I literally call it butterfly right away.
Right, but a lot of people call it Buddha, and which is totally fine. But I spelt it like that just because it really comes from a spiritual aspect.
That's why I like it. So, during this transition period, what's the one thing about yourself when you were a caterpillar that you really felt ugly about? And what's the most beautiful thing about yourself that came out the butterfly stage?
I would say the ugliest thing was feeling like I needed somebody,
Okay.
feeling like I needed another person to make me feel complete or to make me feel full.
Ooh.
And coming out of that was knowing that I already had every single thing that I was looking for within somebody else, within myself.
Okay.
And I've always been a butterfly. All I needed to do was literally bloom.
Well, all caterpillars are butterflies until it's their
Yes.
turn.
Yes.
So that's definitely there. That's a dope ass story.
Thank
Like real
you.
talk, I was actually very intrigued where this was going. But at the beginning, I kind of felt like it was supposed to be for you. Um. So now let's move over to the business. You said you were a teacher. Are you still teaching?
So I'm a para at MAS. I still am.
Okay. You didn't have to tell me the school, but we work with there.
Yep.
Shout out to them.
Yep.
So now we go from being quarantined, where we basically stuck at home, where most people who are not accustomed of being alone now has to be alone, um, to you starting a business in the middle of all of this.
Yep.
What made you choose the business you chose?
Oh, okay. So that was the question. Why vegan? So again, I was on this spiritual journey, and so the caterpillar spoke to me, the butterflies. I've had experiences with grasshoppers, with clouds, with fire, like from candles, like
So you just in tune.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, with trees, everything. So when you are in tune, at least for me, because I don't know everyone's journey,
Right.
but for me, um, clearly that just had to be the next step. But one day I woke up and I was gonna make 5 eggs. I have no idea why it was five, but I was gonna make me 5 eggs. And when I cracked the egg open, I literally was just disgusted. And I'm like, I want something living. I want something living. This is what I'm telling myself.
Right.
So I was just so disgusted with it that I didn't even like the eggs just went to waste because I knew I couldn't eat them. So I'm like, okay, at this time I only knew of salads. Like as far as like if you wanted to be healthy, like that was
Eat a
literally my only
salad.
choice. And I'm not a fruit eater. Weird. But I really don't like sweet stuff like that. So I just went straight over to a salad in my mind. So I end up going to Chick-fil-A. I go to Chick-fil-A and I get me a salad. And the salad I got was a chicken salad. Now I literally just said I want something living.
That's why I laughed.
So I go over to Chick-fil-A and I get me a chicken salad and I eat it and I get super sick. And so this was June. So this was June 4th.
So this was right after your awakening.
Yes. Yes. So this was June 4th and it's hot outside.
Right.
So I end up eating a salad. I go home, I'm feeling super sick. I got a temp of 103 and I have the chills, and in my house it's probably like, I think it was 87 degrees in my house because it's summertime.
Right.
And I remember going to sleep. I ended up getting some cover, going to sleep. I told my mom, like, I don't feel good. So my mom and my dad had came over. They came over to do something, and I didn't even let them in because at the time, I didn't know if it was COVID or not.
Right. I was like, you sure you didn't have a vid, fam?
Right. Sure you didn't have vid. So I'm like, they came over, and I'm like, I don't feel good. So they like, all right. They end up leaving. And so I end up getting in the bed. I got the chills. It's 87 degrees in my house. I'm wrapped up and covered, freezing. So I had some kombucha, which is a tea.
Yeah, I know what that is.
So I had me some kombucha, and I drank the whole thing of kombucha, and I went to sleep. Well, before that, I grounded myself. So I was outside. I was grounding myself, drank the kombucha, and then I went to sleep. Next day, I felt new, completely new. Nothing was wrong with me.
You had to cleanse all the toxins out your body.
I had to. So I'm hungry again.
Of course you are.
I go back to Chick-fil-A.
You just a glutton for punishment.
I go back to Chick-fil-A and I get the same exact thing. I get another chicken sandwich. I eat it and instantly I'm feeling sick again. And I'm like, this is crazy. So I get more kombucha. It was beautiful outside. This happened earlier in the day. So it was beautiful outside. I go to a park. I grounded myself and I literally took a nap at the park. I had me a blanket because I always carry a blanket.
You must live in a nice neighborhood.
I went to the park I went to is what is the park called? Hartung Park. That's one of my favorite parks. Dang, I just put y'all on.
It's gotta be somewhere safe if you out here.
It's in Wauwatosa.
That's still not safe for a black person. But that's a whole other show.
You know what? You right.
That's a whole nother story. You
definitely right. But this is like a real, like, it's super off deck. Like, right. It's low key.
I think I know the area you're talking about.
In the cut. So I took, because I go there a lot. So I literally took a nap there and I had slept for maybe like 2 hours. But what I was doing was getting some vitamin D. That's what I was doing. I laid in the sun.
You was re-energizing.
Yes. So after that,
now, so you need to be outside.
Exactly. So after I did that, again, I drank some more kombucha. That day, my temperature was 104, and I still wasn't nervous just because I believe in healing myself. So I'm a tea drinker.
Right.
I'll do sea moss and all of the good stuff. So I wasn't in my head, even if it was COVID, it was just like, I'm finna beat it. But There wasn't no point of getting tested or going anywhere because this was something that I had to do on my own. I had to heal myself. So I go home, I drank some kombucha, I had some tea, and I had some soup. Go home, went to sleep, and this was June 5th. Go home and go to sleep. And the next morning, I told myself, you have to listen to your body. It's literally rejecting meat.
Right.
And that's why you're sick. You're sick because you got the salad with the chicken. You was disgusted by the eggs. Like, you have to listen. And so after that, it was just like, okay. So that was June 5th. Probably like June 7th, I ended up making.
So you just didn't eat none at all on June 6th?
I had little stuff, but my body would tell me to fast, and I literally would fast. Right. But June 8th, I don't know. My days may be off, but it was it might have been like a Friday. I cooked something, and it wasn't something I had cooked some oyster mushrooms. I fried some mushrooms and I
Okay.
fried it like chicken. So I had some chicken, some greens, some chicken greens, yam, and some cornbread. Now, no dairy, no meat was used in the making of this meal, and it turned out so good. And I told myself Sunday I'm selling soul food dinners, but it was gonna be vegan, and that's literally how that started.
I believe you.
That's literally how that started.
That sounds like a typical story of how most people I know that are vegan, like are real vegans, not pseudo vegans or people who just want to make a quick buck. But it always happens when certain foods just don't sit in them well anymore.
Yep.
Where they start to slowly phase things out. Like me personally, I'm working to phase meat out myself because as an older black man, I'm like 42 right now.
Okay.
We are going to start being affected by everything.
Yep.
So if I can take out a majority of the things that are self-inflicted, I should be okay.
Yep.
How could you not like fruit though?
It's not that I don't like fruit. I don't like sweet stuff. Like I'm not a juice drinker.
Not even if it's not 100% natural, even if it's homemade yourself, you wouldn't drink it.
I don't really like sweet stuff. So my favorite juice is carrot juice.
You gotta go, fam.
My favorite juice is carrot juice. I like cranberry juice. Like even that's tart.
Yeah, that's got a
like
tart kick
real
to it.
Cranberry juice. But I'm not into like.
You couldn't do like watermelons or strawberries or anything like that.
I could, but I'm really gonna sip it, like really, really sippy. I don't. And I was on another show, and they was like, "What do you do for like your snacks?" And I'm just like, "Y'all gonna be so mad at me," but like I eat a lot of avocados, so like.
Just make you some guacamole and get some chips,
right? And I'll be totally satisfied.
I mean, that's actually cool. I think that's becoming the norm for a lot of people too.
Yeah.
To do more of the guac and the avocado compared to. All right, so you started selling Sunday dinners.
I started selling Sunday.
How'd the first time go? Because we're talking vegan. You're talking about black folks.
Yep.
And we don't like change.
I think I did on my very first Sunday. I did 17 dinners, and
Okay.
I was just from literally that was from me. I want to say Friday, like Sunday. I'm doing soul food vegan dinners. So, and I think that was probably like 2-3 posts, and I did 17 dinners.
That's people because they fuck with you.
I'm realizing that, and I always be like, little old me.
You know what? I feel you on that because even though I do this, it be the people who I don't know even know who I am until they say something. It'll be like because I recently just started a new job because I had to change career paths. I have a completely different path I had to go down, so I had to leave my old job. But after I left it, I was worried about a lot of stuff, like how I was going to take care of my personal expenses. Business-wise, I was good, but personal stuff, I need to know how I was going to do that. Job opportunities came across, and my first thing was, this is not going to work. Time is not right. I need these particular days off, the whole 9 yards. But something told me, just go ahead and finish out this week. Worst that can happen is you got a couple other opportunities that's going to be later down in September. So if this doesn't work out, walk away from it and didn't wait till September. But talk to my partner, one of my partners. He was like, yeah, I can cover these days for you. Then all of a sudden, 2 other people who I completely forgot was interested in doing this stepped up and said, yeah, we can do those. Make sure you teach us how to do everything. And boom, we're here whenever you need it. So my initial issue immediately went out the door. And I made a post about it. It was kind of long-winded. But to sum it up in a nutshell, I don't think me leaving my old job was for me to get a new job doing damn near the same thing. It was meant for me to give other people opportunities because I can't expand my brand if I'm the only person who's still doing the ground level stuff. You know, you can't fly if you don't take the wheels off the ground. Okay. So giving a couple of other people an opportunity that I've been holding on to now made it possible for me to not only work this job without any issues at all. And I love it. I cut my mic up. There we go. I love it. All right. But more importantly, now that I got that daytime open, I can now actually go and do things that I haven't been able to do before to expand the brand because businesses are usually closed or I'm stuck at a desk.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I see that. And then that's how I started finding out. And then at this job, getting back to the point, I said the name of my network. Oh, that's yours. I heard that show here. I listened to that show there. I was over here. My cousin is this person. And it's like, and these are different people at the job I'm working at. So without me even thinking about it, I'm connected to this world already.
Yep.
Like I'm already connected to these group of people who are very motivational about what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Talking to one of my supervisors and explaining this, and I'm saying, yeah, well, I'm working on this apparel line. And she's like, oh, well, my husband's a graphic designer and he does A, B, C, D. I was like, oh, well, let me see him talk and see if he can pull this logo off for me. I talked to him, and not only can he pull this logo off, he has a bunch of dope ass ideas that he just wants to be able to share to the world.
Yeah.
So I'm like, we're all connected without even trying.
The network be crazy. It be the most random or the most smallest things that you could pull somebody from, or
Right.
like just a random conversation, and then y'all go all off into the conversation. Now you got a logo designer. Now you know what I'm saying? Like
Got a possible new podcast.
Exactly.
I'm gonna keep messing with you about that.
No, yeah, and people really, 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 really mess with you,
Right.
And that's another thing. People be so like, y'all watching my stories, but y'all ain't liking my posts. Like, y'all worried about the wrong thing.
And I think that's what it is. People are getting into. That's another reason why I started this. People are getting into the entrepreneurship to make money, but not realizing money doesn't always come right away. Right. Like you had a phenomenal launch with 17 people buying dinners for you. Yeah. You may not have even thought you were going to get 3 that day.
Right.
But you got 17. Then it grew as you started doing it. More and more people started to deal with you. Then you're now hosting events.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about the most recent event.
All right. So like I said, that I want to make vegan food sexy first and foremost, and I want to make it relatable.
Let's start with that first part right there. How do you make vegan food sexy?
Just a play on words.
No. You have an idea in your head, because there is no way in hell someone can sit here and think vegan and sexy in the same sentence unless they have an idea.
Yeah, I wanted to, I always, and my mom would tell you this, like, even if my taste is off, my plating is gonna be amazing. This was before I start selling.
Okay.
So when I first started cooking, my presentation used to be on point. I'm talking about on point, and my mom would taste it and be like, "It's cute, but it's bland."
That's black folks for you. You need a little bit more paprika.
Yes, it needs a little bit something. But I just think food is very sexy, right. And food porn is definitely a thing.
Yes, because
you eat with your eyes before you even taste it. And that's always been my thing. I want to make my food look very, very appealing, and then I throw some super sexy names on there to where you definitely gonna want to give it a try.
Right.
And then once you want to give it a try and you actually taste it and you realize that all the flavors are there, we good.
Yes, because me and you have just recently became Facebook friends.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying maybe less than about 3 to 4 months.
Okay.
But it was a particular post that you made. It was involving a strawberry. Okay. That's why when you said you don't like fruit, it threw me off. I'm not going to describe the strawberry for you people
Listen,
because
listen.
you have to go be her friend. You have to come to her event and see these strawberries live and in person. That's all I'm gonna tell you. But this particular strawberry, literally,
was oozing.
It can get it.
Was creaming.
It can get it. But and I think that's what really made me be like, you know what? Let's see what she's talking about with this sexy vegan food.
Yeah.
And then as I looked at your menu and the things that you were selling, and like you said, the naming of it, it was like
it'll make you want to try
this is wild, but I'm down for anything once. Let's see where this is going. And unfortunately, I couldn't make the event because I had a couple of events that I had already planned at the same time. Okay. But of course, a couple of my peoples were there. Okay. You know, Shabri
love it.
And Grace was definitely there.
And shout out to Big Perp.
Big Perp. my
Big
spirit
Perp
my
and,
spirit animal.
Bree, yep.
Mother. They were definitely in the building. And I know that with the kind of energy that they have, if they rock with you, you definitely got to be the shit. Yeah. Because they don't just rock with anybody. And I heard that the event was phenomenal.
Thank you. I'm actually still on a high from that event. And I'm like, I gotta come down, but no, I don't.
No, you don't.
I definitely do not.
Damn, you're a butterfly.
Right.
You gotta remind yourself of that. You're a butterfly. You're not supposed to be on the ground.
Right. And I need to soar.
You do?
So yeah, but definitely more focused because I was on this high when it was just like, oh my goodness, I really did this because do you want me to go into that?
It is your spotlight, woman. What are you not? You don't act like you ain't did this before.
Right. So that was crazy. So it's this new place. It's called Dior's Gallery. Okay. I want to say they opened up like April 24th. My dates may be off again, but I want to say they opened up April 24th. And they had this grand opening, and their venue was literally absolutely beautiful. And I remember inboxing them April 26th, and I said, it's Monday. I'm manifesting that I'm going to have my very first event there.
Okay.
And they was, just kind, and they was just like, gave me like their contact information and was like, let me know when you ready to book.
Right.
So that's what I had put out. It was Monday. I'm like, I'm manifesting that. I'm having my very first event there. Now, I've never done an event. I've never been a hostess. I've never, you know what I'm saying? I never did any of that. So whatever. They end up having some events at their space. And one of the events is Grub at the Gallery. They asked me to be a part of it. I was a part of it, so I had did Grub at the Gallery, and I had did Soul Food Sundays.
Okay.
So I had my Soul Snatcher Sunday. That is my Sunday meal. It's called a Soul Snatcher.
All right. So next Sunday, I better have one here. You know where I'm at on Sundays.
Got you.
Okay, that's all I gotta say.
So so they had that. I had did my Soul Snatcher. And people, so I don't do that often. And when I do it, people literally flock to it because they love it. So I hadn't promoted like that. I did not. I did maybe.
Why not?
I don't have a real reason. Honestly, I'm not good with promoting.
You gotta hire somebody.
Something got to give, but I'm like not good with promoting. I did really good promoting with my event. I did really, really good promoting that.
I got somebody for you.
Okay. But
she might cost a little bit, but she gonna get you where you need to be.
She gonna get me right. So I didn't promote like that. However, they had did a raffle for whoever brung the most people. They will win a free event, a free 3-hour event. So at the end of the day, after the event or whatever, she ended up telling me that I had brung the most people. so the most people had mentioned my name at the door, and I was the winner of the raffle. So on that next Monday, she had announced that I was the winner,
Okay.
and I had won the free 3-hour event, which was another Monday. And I'm just like, this is crazy because I literally manifested this. I told them I was gonna have my first event there. So when
Right.
I won the 3 hours, I'm like, it's go time. It's go time. And I came up with this whole dine-in experience
Okay.
because um if I get a restaurant, this is what I would want my restaurant to look like or how I would want it to be.
Right.
So it was super sexy. So what I was saying when I was promoting it was Dior's gallery will become my sex scene. I'll be providing you all with food porn, and it was Karma Sutra just because I had plenty different things. So I had loud noises, which was live music.
Mm-hmm.
I had a live painter. She did an abstract fruit. So the fruit, it was still a fruit, but it also looked like a vagina. It was super sexy. Shout out to her. Her name is Christelle, and her name on Instagram is _ a hint of Christelle. She is a super duper dope artist.
Gotta make sure we tag her in this.
Yeah, she's super dope. And then I had Christopher's project for my music.
Okay.
And then I did all of the food. Well, no, I didn't do all of the food. I did the appetizers, which was my foreplay, and I did the intercourse, which was my main entree.
Right.
And then shout out to Cupcake. She did my climax, which was the desserts. Yes.
That's what's up.
And we switched it up. We had did dessert before. So we did dessert before we did the entrees. And I wanted to switch it up just because. Why are you looking like that?
Because when you look at how you describe it, is that actual possible?
The climax before the intercourse?
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I was going to see what you was going to say.
Absolutely. So, yeah. So we did the desserts first. So the reasoning for the dessert was I wanted that to be like an aphrodisiac. Right. I wanted, so when my tenderonis, which were my waitresses, they were shout out to my tenderonis. They were absolutely amazing. Before the event started, they renamed themselves to something super sexy. So I had chocolate, I had mocha or legs, I had yummy. These are all my names of my waitresses. Yummy, Juicy was my hostess. And I think that was it. And then Cupcake, she was also my my tenderoni. But the reason for the dessert prior to the entree was because when the waitresses brung out the dessert, they were supposed to give it to your partner. So you were supposed to feed your partner. And it was supposed to be really sexy. Another thing was, it is said that if you eat your dessert before your dinner, it helps level out your blood sugar.
Learn something new today.
Yes. So I had did that. And yeah, and then Cupcake, she had did all of the desserts. She had we had strawberry cheesecake, Oreo cheesecake, red velvet, and the red velvet was called a red light special.
You over here causing problems.
What else
You made some babies that night. I just want you to know that.
I hope so.
People were full and fucking. People were definitely full and fucking.
I really hope so. I really hope that it was some babies made. Christopher Project, he played nothing but they did. They played nothing but very, very intimate music. We'll call it intimate.
Okay.
Yep. So yeah, it was absolutely amazing. It was super dope.
So now that you successfully completed your first event, what's next?
Another event.
You ever thought about doing this as like
going on tour? Did you say going on tour?
Can I get there? No, my first thought was, have you ever thought about doing it like as a at-home experience for people?
Yes. So that was one of my raffles. One of my raffles was well, that was the raffle actually.
Okay.
The raffle was to bring basically exactly what I did at my event to your house
Right.
on a much smaller scale, but you'll still be able to get the entree. I mean, the appetizer, the entree, and the dessert. It's just gonna be more intimate, and then after I leave, you know what I'm saying. You guys
Yeah, I
can do
don't
your
know. The
thing.
way you making it sound, it may happen right there on the dining room table. At that point in time, depending on who it is, because sexuality is
Right,
a spectrum. You might be able to
right,
stay or go. Who knows?
right. But yeah,
Uh, but no, I honestly I do see that as something that could blossom as a romantic kind of a couples thing, and then as you get closer to certain days like Valentine's Day, you
yeah,
kind of up the price, or maybe even have a massive event that may have be connected to a hotel or something. Who knows? Just something to put out in the air.
no, I'm happy you said that. Um, I'm working on a hotel.
Okay.
I'm literally working on the hotel. I wanted to do like a trial. My mom said that I could do her and my dad.
I don't know if you want another little brother or sister though.
They better relax.
I mean, if you cooking like this, they may, you know,
Yeah,
throw on some Isley brothers, slip on, the robe, and tell you
right,
go home.
right. Go ahead now.
Don't come back over here for a few days.
Yeah, but yeah. So I just want I would have to figure out like my pricing just because I would have to pay for the hotel
Right, you
room
definitely have to pay for
and all
the
of that
setup.
stuff. Yeah, and so I just want to keep it to where like first off, I definitely believe in you should pay for what you want,
Exactly.
but I also understand that people want to experience certain things with a limited amount of money.
Right.
So I definitely want to keep everything reasonable. So that definitely will take like some time for me to put that together.
Well, one thing I've learned is when you're creating your packages,
Mm-hmm.
take the most that you're willing to do. Okay. So, what all would this complete experience involve?
Mm-hmm.
And then at that point, price that. Okay. So, this would be your premium package in so many words.
Okay.
And then slowly find what can be taken away from that experience, but still be a good experience. That way, you can now move down to your standard, your medium, your premium, and your basic. Because as you start taking away from it, in your mind, you're also creating, well, how can this experience still be what I want it to be with this missing or with that missing? Or maybe even have it that certain things can be added on to the experience if you pay a little bit more.
So you'll have like a quickie, a rendezvous.
You really are
Yeah.
just,
Yeah.
I mean,
The
I'm
quickie would just be the standard.
a quickie would maybe just be like
Just
a
standard.
Sunday soul meal that just has all the good food. You're
Get
not
your-
here
get your
to get
snatch.
to know the experience. You may be a single person. You just here to get what you getting you out.
Really?
Look,
Like, I was just gonna say, you think people are just one person to come just for little old me?
some
I'm just kidding.
first, okay. First and foremost, have you looked at you?
Have you seen you?
Have you seen you? Damn it! I want to see what ugly you looked at like. Okay, so
Oh,
don't even.
thank you. Appreciate you.
I don't want you, but I'm just saying. Yes, people would pay if you post videos of this dripping strawberry, and then you with these meals and then these names. You might actually have people say, you know what? I don't even want the meal.
Just a little time.
Just let's talk.
Just a little time.
I'm not saying that's the world you need to go down, but I'm saying.
So when I was posting those promotional videos, they like get an OnlyFans. I'm like, oh my goodness.
I don't see no reason why you. But you also have to remember, OnlyFans is more than just what the porn industry has taken over.
Right.
So it makes sense. It's an option.
Yeah.
Because you can probably use it and actually physically show you cooking,
Yeah.
and people can learn from that experience of the cooking. But yeah, you definitely have probably never doubt the fact that what you're offering can reach a bigger scale.
Okay.
So just because couples sound like the ideal target,
Yeah.
single people in troubles may actually want it as well too.
Yeah.
So don't ever rule it out. Hell, somebody might call you for the first, like, look, there's this girl, I really like her. I want to hire you for my first date experience. Let's do this.
Listen.
Don't knock it.
Listen. And they gonna have them a girlfriend by the end of the night messing with me.
That can be taken two different ways, but I'm gonna walk away from that.
Not me.
Hey, you never know. The person you might think, hey, you're a very attractive young man, and she's dumb. But what's next for you?
So, I am hosting. I do not have all of the details together as of yet. However, I will be hosting a brunch and a sip and paint all in one.
Where at?
So the place is not to be disclosed.
Oh,
No, the place is located on Silver Spring and Lovers Lane. But it's definitely booked. It is a place that it's a very new place. She doesn't do much promotion.
I think I know where
Really?
it is. I think I do.
But I went and I seen it yesterday and I was literally blown away. It is beautiful, 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 beautiful. It is spacious, and I definitely can do some really great things with it.
Okay.
So when I went in there, I just was kind of like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Like trying to.
Your vision was.
Yep. It was flowing. My juices got to going. So that will be 10 to 21 from 10 to 2. I like all of those numbers, and I was just drawn to it. And before I even booked the event, before I booked the venue, before I did anything, I told people to say today, I knew I would get that just because I love those numbers. They look really good together. I am a numbers person.
Okay. I ain't said nothing.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a paint and sip, and it's gonna be a brunch all in one. I'm undecided if I am going to make this very sexy as well, or am I?
Seems to be the theme so far.
I know.
It's your brand now.
I know.
You're the sexy vegan.
I know. Okay, so you just confirmed it.
That's your thing now.
You just confirmed. You definitely just confirmed it. So yeah, it's gonna be super sexy. I'm gonna give it a name, and yeah, 10 to 21 from 10 to 2. It's gonna be amazing.
I'll be there.
Okay.
I'm confirming it right now.
You like breakfast food?
If you making breakfast food sexy, I'm probably gonna be there just to see what the hell that's gonna be. But yes, I prefer breakfast over anything else.
Really?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this is gonna be really nice.
Especially because you're making it vegan, so now you're helping me find alternatives to what I like to eat in the morning.
Yep.
Because omelets are my go-to, and you basically made eggs ugly, so I can't crack an egg no more.
So
don't feel right.
Yeah. But yeah. So go back to why vegan. So, and that's another thing, because people still ask me, because again, I used to cook regular food prior to being vegan.
Right. Of course, you had to eat somehow.
Right. I used to sell dinners. So people still talk to me about like cooking regular food.
Can you do that? Can you mentally do that?
Of course I could, because my children aren't vegan.
Right.
And
I mean, you could slowly slide them into that lifestyle.
So I am. However, I've been in a situation to where I was forced to be something that I didn't want to be.
Okay.
caterpillar stage.
Right.
Forced to be something that I didn't want to be made me unhappy. I didn't feel free to make my own choices. So when I became vegan, it was literally it was just my choice.
Right.
I understand the benefits and all of that. However, I also introduced my children to being carnivores.
You did?
So I don't think it's fair to just change like that, because if you know me, like, my children are human, and that just because I'm their mother don't mean that they
It's
don't
not
have
one
a
of them.
voice.
You're not one of those do as I say people.
Nope.
So let me ask you this: have you ever thought of, or have you tried to slowly make the adjustment
To my children?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I know for a fact, like, one of the biggest things with me is I've been dabbling in the plant-based burgers and alternative chicken options.
You definitely have to get a butter burger.
First of all, I didn't know those existed.
Oh yeah.
Secondly, where is it? I'm here. You have no excuse.
You know what? I could look. I always be coming to these pods, and I don't got a lick of food with me. I'm not right. I'm gonna be better.
So you come to my pod, you
I'ma
drink
be
my
better.
liquor, and you don't bring. You know what? This interview is over.
We're done.
We're done. Nah. Like I said, next time you sell food,
Yeah.
I'll order. That's what I want.
Okay. The burger.
The burger.
Okay.
I'ma
Butter
trust you.
burgers. Everybody go crazy over my butter burgers. They are literally.
What do you put in them without giving away anything?
I just have a special sauce.
Okay.
It's a special sauce that I am actually considering bottling up and selling. A lot of people want the sauce, and they do. They want the sauce. They like that drip.
I'm sick of you.
They like that drip. But yeah, it's the sauce.
It's the sauce for me.
It's the sauce for them.
That's the name of it.
Yeah.
It's the sauce for me.
Yeah. But what were we talking about before that? My kids. So yeah, I definitely like introduce it to them.
Okay.
However, they're very, very picky eaters, whether it's meat or it's not meat. Like,
what's their signs?
My daughter was born December 24th.
First of all, don't come for us like that, but continue.
And my son was March 21st.
Okay. I can understand that girl for sure. So I know why she a picky eater.
So they're both really picky eaters, and so they really only eat certain stuff, and like their palate is very limited.
All right. But that's most kids though.
Right. And I used to freak, but now it's just like, now that I understand my body more, when you hungry, that's when you'll eat. But
right.
I also don't make them eat at scheduled times, or like, because when you're hungry, you're hungry.
You're hungry.
Right. But with being a vegan, I would definitely say that is more of a texture eating. So if you're a texture person, it's a lot of things that you won't enjoy as much. And I work with mushrooms a lot.
I'm okay with mushrooms. I actually love mushrooms.
Really?
Yes.
So like, but talking about the children, that's texture. That's like a lot of texture. So like, if they want chicken and the only chicken that I got is a mushroom, they gonna pick real chicken. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I definitely introduce it to them. My daughter, she likes enoki mushrooms.
Okay.
And I season them like you would a chicken. So
right.
She likes those. But my son, he just likes different things. He loves baked potatoes. I definitely veganize that. He doesn't know that I do that.
Why would you veganize a baked potato?
So like all of the toppings. So he like his baked potato with butter.
Gotcha. I'm sitting here like, what do you mean you veganize? The potato is from the damn ground.
Right.
But
no,
of course,
but like the bacon,
cream,
sour cream, cheese, all of that is plant-based, and he doesn't know, so he definitely enjoy those.
Girl, when he hears this show,
Uh,
he's gonna
like,
be.
mommy, I knew it tasted different.
I mean, if that's all you taste for a while, you tend to forget about it.
Yep,
You tend
yep.
to forget about. That was one of my biggest things. Transitioning certain foods, it's it's it tastes bad after you haven't had it for a while.
Yeah.
So that makes me not go back to it. But right now, I've currently gotten to the point where it's mostly chicken is my go-to. I'll
Hmm.
do a burger every once in a while, but even then, I get sick off of them if it's not a Whopper from Burger King.
Yeah.
And even then, I can only eat that so much now.
Yeah.
So I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
But yep.
So we have come to the end of this episode. I would like to thank you for being my guest today
Thank you for
and,
having me.
and taking me on this beautiful butterfly journey of yours. So, for the listeners out there, how can they find you? How can they get a hold of you? How can we order this delectable food?
So you can find me on Facebook at so my Facebook business page is Buddalove BUDDAHLUV, and my Instagram is underscore BUDDAHLUV, and on both platforms, Facebook and Instagram. Butterfly is my personal page, which is BUDDAHFLY. I have a website rolling out soon because I want to convert over to, well, I want to offer catering as well.
That was going to be my final thing was the catering option.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna hire you one day to cater one of my TDR events, and I'm gonna see if my people are gonna notice the difference.
Right.
Because if they don't eat it, I'm taking it home and eating my damn self
Right.
regardless. So that's how it's work. Well, thank you everybody for tuning into this episode. As you can see, I am back. Make sure you be on the lookout for future entrepreneurs and small businesses that I'll be having on here. Make sure you follow Butterfly wherever the hell she at, because she's always on the go. And with that being said, people, we are out of here. Peace.
Bye.